Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, the YouTube world. Today, I'll be showing you guys how to replace a LG compressor. Most common, notorious issues of not cooling, and you guys are aware, because we all do our little bit of research, that the compressor always fails. But today is your lucky day, because I will be showing you guys how to take it off as we begin. No need to be scared that, oh, I'm gonna burn the copper. These are two different materials. As you can see, slides like a butter. If this guy wants to stay down, maybe. This one, you could just, now we'll do the same thing, the one in the back. It just takes a little bit of patience to try to sweat them off a bit. There you go. Then we're gonna bend this. As for this part right here, filter dryer, we'll just cut them and then we'll sweat it off. That's how we'll show you guys right now. I use this type of tool. Cut it. This is a really skinny line, so you don't want to cut it just like that. You gotta want to go around and around until completely comes off. And for this one, as for your Yoder loop, you can just cut it. All right. This is your old filter dryer. We'll be replacing it with a new one. Always, when you're gonna do a compressor, swap a compressor, swap a condenser. If you can see this condenser or anything as part of the seal system, always replace the filter dryer, because at times they get clogged up or something happens. I've done that before. I will not replace the filter dryer and then it will not work. So lesson learned. Always replace the filter dryer. And as you can see here, you will need to be taking these clips, both in the front, both in the back. And we'll be taking this guy off too, if it fits, or maybe not. There's some in the back. They're clipped, so you just lift them a little bit until you hear them come off. There we go. You want to bend this a little bit, not too much. This is very fragile, because if you bend it way too much, it could actually crack. And this line right here goes inside here, the refrigerator, in the wall. So you want to be very careful on that. Once you take it off, just tilt it a bit. Oh, there we go. The rubber, put them back because you will need them. This is the old compressor. As you can see, this is a service valve. temporary one to check pressures. Um, I will eventually do a video how to tap it in, recovery, etc., etc. But right now, we continue. This is the new compressor. New compressor, universal. You know, just take the. And this one, we will need to have to put the service valve. So we're just gonna, before I do that, might want to sand it a little bit actually, so we could do. Oh, don't worry. This is where the condenser lamp will go and the suction. Now that we put that in, we'll get started. Heat it up till you see it changing color. But of course, we don't want it to heat it up too much because then we'll melt the copper. You want to be very careful on that. Now, we'll just sand other lines. Want to be careful. Let me see if the phone pick it up. So this is a capillary tube. Hopefully picks it up. When you cut it, you see the inside. It's open. Sometimes you just cut it like that with that tool that I have. It will actually pinch it, and you will need to recut it again. So just keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Gentlemen. All right, we sand them. Because we're gonna put this back to its place. If I'm doing all this shaking, please disregard. I'm just starting, so I'm still getting the hang what I can improve. So I do apologize on the shaking this, shaking that. But anyways, let's continue. Now that we did all that, put it back to its place. All right. Now remember the clips, they just snap back to its place. connect the lines back to place. This one will not go all the way in. Once you use your torch, you heat it up and then slides in like butter. This one, same thing here. You know, no need to worry if it doesn't go all the way in. We'll heat up the lines and they'll do the rest of this job. Like butter. We'll do the same thing for the other line. Now we have that ready. Now we're going to start soldering it. This is good to solder the copper with the aluminum. It's very good. No need to put flux. It already has that pink coating on it. Helps a lot. Normally I have a rag to put around the lines to cool off a bit, but I could not find my rag, so it's quite interesting. Now we continue. Now we will be putting the filter dryer. It's not working. Filter dryer. This particular one is for LG. I mean, filter dryer is a filter dryer. So this particular LG one, I don't know what's so special. They're like 60 bucks. To be honest, filter dryers, I think the most $15. You get any kind as long as you do its job and as long as we know what way to put it. This has an arrow pointing that way. So the flow goes this way to here. So the arrow will be, since it's going that way, we'll put it from here. In other cases like this. Because if we put it the other way around, it's not gonna work. So we're gonna be putting it like this. We're gonna solder it, etc., etc. And every time we solder, please make sure to take the shredder from the inside. Take it off. We don't want it to melt it and then it leaks, and then you need to probably replace the filter dryer. Now that's in place, that goes like this. And this one, if it wants to give me some space, well, let me go back. Since this is a wider, it could go in, but you will have a huge gap. So cut it to its size. Luckily, he got space to cut it. All of this, you will need to cut it from right here. I'll show you right now. So there you go. Makes it much easier, and you don't have to worry about putting too much solder or plugging it up. Just like that. Now we get back to work. This one right here, you want to be very, very careful. Not put too much, because since this is a little bit thicker than this one, it is so easy to clog it up. So once that gets a little bit cherry red, try to put some. Remember, the more you heat it, the copper rodding will go around it. So, yep, as you can see. But just to be sure, we're gonna pressure test them. We're gonna put compressed air in the system, just to be sure that everything is sealed up pretty good. Just to make sure that what I did is good. This one needs to be cold before you put everything, the valve inside. Keep in mind, since I'm working outside and it's kind of chilly, it's cold a little bit. A little bit. All right. Come on. All right. So this is my setup. This is my nitrogen tank. So we're gonna be pumping inside here just to check my welds, just to check I didn't leave any pinholes. It's always good, um, you know. Hello. And we're back. I had to do some adjustments. I'll show you guys. So now we put nitrogen in the system. We're going to check for leaks. You always want to check for leaks because you can feel really confident that you did everything so good, but then there's that one surprise like, hey, what's going on here? You know, always check for your leaks. The most important one. So far in my end. Oh, hello. Looks like we found one. It's bubbling up little by little. Like I say, always check your leaks. And we're back. Had to solder the line again. And I checked it again. And looks like we're back in action. You know, small stuff like that. I didn't realize there was a really tiny pinhole. So it's good to pressure test it just to be sure that everything is sealed up good. Now, into the next process. We did that. Now, we are going to evacuate the system. I'm using these fancy words because that's what we use in the field. So we still leave everything how it is. We just plug it in our vacuum and then let it do its thing. So I put nitrogen in the system and hold pressure. We'll just open the high side. Low side will slowly drop until it reaches designated. We want the whole system to be in a vacuum, 30 or close to 30. My gauges don't go all the way to 30 because that's how I have it set up, but it is slowly dropping. It never hurts to open it. And as you can see, it is dropping. We'll leave it like that for a couple minutes until it goes completely close to 30.